Well, greetings and thanks for joining us for another episode of Lightbulb Moments. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to check out past episodes, and also subscribe to the podcast, as this is offered both in a visual and just auditory format. Whatever it is, we're just glad you're with us today, whether it's live or listening in or viewing us later. I'm Tom Kuhn. I'm host and curator of Lightbulb Moments. I'm also CEO and founder of Qnity. A light bulb moment for us is a moment of sudden realization, enlightenment, or inspiration. And remember, you can't start a fire without a spark. So sometimes you need that light bulb moment. But we also know that a light bulb moment without action is futile. So definitely the theme and the founding sort of principle around this is how to move into action based upon actionable ideas. At Qnity, we're here to take what's confusing, overwhelming, and complicated to a clear path towards prosperity for you and all of your stakeholders, your team, etc. Remember to prosper, manage your ATM, the three currencies we have in life: attention, time, and money. And thank you for spending your precious time with us today. We love hearing from you, whether you've got a topic, whether you got a suggestion, whether you have a suggestion for a guest, or maybe you want to be a guest, let us know, certainly in the chat. You can also email me at tom.kuhn@qnityinc.com. Our last guest was the very generous Chris Barron. He's a global artistic director. He's a facilitator and a coach, and just a very, very kind and genuine, impact-driven individual. Very humble, award-winning on many fronts, and it was an honor to have Chris as a guest. I was actually a guest on his podcast, and I instantly knew that this was a guy to develop a relationship. So definitely check out that episode. We've also had past episodes 2 weeks ago. Tamara Fields from Accenture. She's actually the Austin office managing director, as well as one of 5 people in the country that runs a territory. She actually is the largest territory within Accenture. She is one powerhouse of a woman, and a very kind woman, very generous, very humble. Would seem to attract people like that. Anyway, a little bit more on Tamara coming up. Past guests also included Jen Lyles, Executive Director for Beauty Schools Marketing Group. So definitely check out some past episodes, and there's some really good ones. We want to thank some of our Lightbulb Moment sponsors, including Lightheart Sanders, the CPAs, Green Circle Salons, and Forest Software. Thanks to all of them. They help make this podcast possible. Check out recent episodes I shared with you. Most of them. There's a few other ones: Cash Lawless, Shane Price, Liz and Just Arundel. Also great episodes. All right, upcoming dates. Obviously, we have the Phil coming up May 19th through 21. It's coming up fast and furious. We're super excited about it. We're going to do a little bit of a deep dive on the anatomy of curating a conference in a little bit here. The theme this year is leap. We definitely are taking a leap this year. In fact, creating this conference was a bit of a leap. Here we are in our 3rd year, going stronger than ever, and super excited. The theme really, I'll bring alive today when we talk about a unique partnership that was just announced yesterday. And that's with the University of Texas, in multiple facets of the university, including the McCombs School of Business, which is one of the top 20 business programs in the world, not just in the US. Also ranks #1 in professors, as well as the Human Dimensions organization, which is the first of its kind in the country to really have curriculum to develop a deep understanding of people. Wow, what a concept is to actually have programs that really are university driven, that reflect a deep understanding of people, which is the only constant thing in business is really about people. A tremendous marriage between 2 different parts of the university. I'm super excited about that. We're going to get into that a little bit shortly here. Also, at the same time of the Phil, the night before, is a celebration of Lightbulb Moments. We'll celebrate all of our guests last year, actually over the last 3 years, that have been guests on Lightbulb Moments. It's really in their honor, but we're also going to honor all of you, and we'll have some awards and really celebrate a year of impact. This will be a black and white night. Super excited about this, a great compliment to the Phil. And we, over upcoming weeks, we'll continue to unveil some of the portraits from last year's Phil by renowned photographer David Raculia. We have shown 3 of the photos so far, and we have 10 more coming. So watch for them on social. Coming up, let's not forget about One Day, One Ticket. It's coming up on March 21st. That is next week, if I have my math right. And this is to support Beauty Changes Lives, which is all about making beauty a first choice career through scholarships, mentorships, advanced education, grants, industry advocacy. And this is an opportunity to have members of your team donate the value of 1 service ticket as a give back to the industry. It's not too late to sign up for this. I'm going to put up a QR code for those of you that are on this visually. You're welcome to look at that. That's a great way to sign up. It's not too late. Otherwise, you can go to the Beauty Changes Lives website and get involved. Don't forget to check out recent episodes of Money O2 by Erin. I mean, it is amazing, the people that she's interviewing on money topics, super inspiring. And let me now get into Lightbulb Moments, which I'm going to take solo this week. I've got a lot to go through. It'll be a shorter episode this week, but I wanted, first of all, reinforce my Lightbulb moment last week. And something I really threw out to all of you is this whole concept of data, and more specifically, benchmarks. I asked the question, do we need updated benchmarks? Specifically, benchmarks that will help you run your businesses, including running your business through proper coaching and goal setting with members of your team based upon benchmarks that were driven by data, recent data. And my point of view is a lot of the benchmarks that are being used today for coaching and goal setting are dated. Some of them go back 12 years, 13 years. And some of them are right before the pandemic, which also made them suspect. So we're really looking at more of a large scale study into benchmarks, and I'm really looking to gauge your degree of interest in this because it takes a village to participate. And I got some great feedback last week, and I continue to look for feedback on, do you think we need updated benchmarks? And then if so, would you be willing to participate in a study to help make that happen? That was my Lightbulb moment last week. This week, I am going to dive into a few different topics. I've got my storyboard 9 grid in front of me here, right here, my notes for what we're going to talk about today. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about an excursion that I did a social post on Leap Day, February 29th. When we took a leap, my wife and I and our dog decided, we relocated to Austin, Texas for a month, remote work. And the whole journey from Minnesota down to Austin, Texas, we got settled in on March 1st. So I'm going to give you some updates on that as we've really looked at this community. That is going to also lead into a conversation about South by Southwest, which is a significant, multifaceted, I don't even know how to describe it. Festival is the wrong word, but anyway, South by Southwest, I want to talk about that. And then finally, and kind of the bulk of what I want to talk about is the anatomy of a partnership, the anatomy of a collaboration with a major university, and some of the behind the scenes, as well as a sneak peek on something we have not released yet, and that is the actual speakers and the topics. So anyway, thanks for joining us. I'm going to jump right in here. So first of all, on sort of a quirky note, so while in Austin, during the South by Southwest Festival, I guess I just called it a festival, they do have film premieres. And this first share is a little bit just for fun. And a film premiere that was happening last Saturday was Roadhouse, which is a star-studded cast about an ex-UFC fighter. And anyway, so the premiere was going on, and I happened to be walking down Congress Street, and there was just this massive area in front of the Paramount Theater. It was all blocked off. There was all these fans out there waiting for the stars to arrive. And I'm just walking down the street and I look over my shoulder and there's a limo, and I'll be darned if it isn't one of the cast members, specifically Conor McGregor. Now, if you don't know Conor McGregor, he is a he's, what would be the right word for Conor McGregor? He's an Irish a UFC fighter. He's also been a bit of a controversial figure. I happened to walk by him, did something I rarely do, which is take a selfie. I, of course, asked for permission because he does have a reputation of getting a little bit feisty with people in bus stations and whatever. And he gave me permission to take his picture. I took Conor McGregor's picture. He gave me a thumb up, and with his Irish brogue, he said, "Have a good day." Anyway, it was kind of a fun, epic moment. But, you know, digging a little bit deeper into Austin and this area, and, you know, this whole concept of, really what's fueling me is that this is definitely a city of creativity and commerce. It's also a city of nature. And it is really an amazing opportunity to sort of immerse myself, or my wife and I and several of our guests that are coming and going, immerse ourselves into a new community. There's just something about that, you know, creates a sense of aliveness, and, you know, getting away from your day to day. Of course, it doesn't hurt to get away from Minnesota for a little bit, where it can be a little bit chilly this time of year. But, you know, having the opportunity to disrupt your life and change your whole routine is pretty easy to dig some pretty deep ruts into your day-to-day routine. And I've been very much guilty of that. So it's really been an amazing leap. And that leads me to my next topic, specifically about some of the things that I've learned down here. So Tamara Fields is, I've already mentioned her. She was a guest on Lightbulb Moments. Definitely listen to that episode. She is one powerhouse woman, very smart. And she was kind enough to invite us actually, to their South by Southwest exhibit, which is right on Congress. Really cool building, first left street level. And so she really rolled out the red carpet. I mean, she's the boss there. I mean, she's in charge, like I said, of the whole office, the whole region, and people from all over the country came in for their South by Southwest exhibit. So what really kind of struck me is that in the Accenture exhibit, they actually had, I think it was 6 different pop-ups that really related to some of the work that Accenture has done on their own or with clients, or actually Accenture Ventures, which are ventures that Accenture has sponsored in some form with an equity interest, consulting services, whatever. Where I'm going with this is all of those different stations and all of these pop-ups, you know, obviously we're very driven by technology and also very driven by AI. So we're going to have a little bit of a conversation about AI right now. And it's going to be brief. And then I want to make sure you stick around, and I could talk a little bit deeper about the anatomy of a collaboration with a major university. But, you know, so these particular exhibits, one was with a AI application called Writer, which is very specifically built out beyond any capabilities, for example, of ChatGPT, but really about writing skills and very user-friendly. Had some fascinating demos. Erin happened to be in town, went back. She went through a demo there too. So just the power of the tools beyond what I'd seen before in a very practical and pragmatic use. Another one was a machine creative studio, and this was really accelerating a lot of marketing initiatives and a lot of the design related initiatives in a very quick and powerful way that is very customized to your own brand. I was really blown away by both of these because they have some very pragmatic uses for the kind of work that I do and the kind of work we do at Qnity. By the way, one other exhibit that they actually had to sign a non-disclosure for, was Disney as a client. and they built out this amazing platform for Marvel, for all of the Marvel films. It was sort of like an encyclopedia around it. So when they create future films, they're able to connect back with all the content so they don't screw things up. For example, if someone was born in a certain year, in a later episode, they're born in a different year, then the aficionados and the regular viewers of Marvel films are going to, you know, have an issue with that. So that was just super interesting, not necessarily pragmatic for day to day. But let me extend the conversation about AI into some other things that are very top of mind for me. Understanding and working with people over several decades now, and understanding the power of tactile learning that actually comes not through some digital format, but the connection from the hand to brain. And I do have a little bit of a fear here. It is a format that has worked, to, you know, tactile learning. And on one hand, we really have to embrace AI. I mean, it's a competitive risk not to. We literally can become obsolete if we don't embrace current technologies. And even though I really don't like the term artificial intelligence, because artificial, the very first word out of the pair, kind of sets me off. I don't like anything that's artificial. One of our core values at Qnity is authenticity, you know, and artificial is different from that. But we're gonna embrace it. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, I'm not you know, I'm not late to the party on this, but I'm also just want to express, you know, there's a lot of cautions about AI that's really way above my pay grade as a commentator. But I do know that tactile learning, especially for visual, creative, hands-on, you know, which is many of the people that we work with, has a function. And I've been a little reluctant for a lot of the Qnity tools to just automatically just turn into a digital format, because I know that will slow down learning. A lot of times we use tactile tools because it accelerates learning. Then we move to digital. So anyway, I'm sure, you know, AI, I know Sam Bricado and I talked about AI in a past episode. He's really into it. He's studying it. I'm going to continue to study it. I'm just interested in the future of how all of you are using AI, and we'll probably have a deeper episode on that in the future. All right. Let me get to the topic I want to go probably deepest in, and that has to do with, I'll call it the anatomy of a collaboration, and truly the power of connection. So yesterday, we made an email went out to our community that really was an announcement. Also, I did a social post yesterday, and it really was announcing something that we've been working on since, I would say probably since September or so. Tell me what, 7, however many months. And it's really interesting how this unfolded. And really in getting ready for today, I thought that you might enjoy a little bit of behind the scenes. And I want to give you the opportunity to be the first ones to really hear about some of our speakers and their topics. As I like to do, I like our Lightbulb Moments audience to be the first one to hear about certain things. All right, so a little bit about the behind the scenes on this. So, you know, in curating the fill, and you know, this is our 3rd year. One of the things that we got some feedback last year that a lot of the Qnity regulars wanted something in addition to our tool workshops. And our tool workshops, we keep them fresh every year. We do new tools, but we felt it was time to mix things up in a way that would be very meaningful to people in this industry, as well as people that attend the Phil. And it really started as a venue. I mean, we found this great venue for the conference. It's the AT&T Conference Center. It's a bit like a JW Marriott. It's a very, very nice hotel. And attached to it is a conference center. It really works seamlessly well. The hotel's beautiful. It's a standalone hotel. It's not stuffy at all. And then the conference center attached to it's fantastic. We did some February programs there. They were a big hit. But it's on the campus. I mean, it's really on the edge of the campus. I mean, it's really the very first thing that you experience when you come on the campus from the, downtown Austin. And we're looking for more authentic connection to the university other than just having space that's on the campus. And so in curating the conference, I just kept thinking, how can we infuse with this incredible opportunity with this university? It's one of the top universities in the world in multiple different areas. It's a very well-rounded school, but it is very, very strong in the business program at McCombs School of Business, and it's very strong in some other areas which we didn't know what they were. Pardon the dog moment. I'll be right back. All right, I don't actually know that's ever happened before on this, but you got to experience, which is wonderful. That's our wonderful little dog, Gracie, by the way. Check her out. I just posted something on her on Instagram. Anyway, so we were looking for this authentic connection with the university. And this is really about the story, the power of connections, and how one connection leads to another, and how that ultimately can create some amazing things. And I personally think that the format and the content that we have at the Phil this year will be world class, like nothing I've ever experienced in the beauty industry. And Art Markman, Dr. Art Markman, we met as a speaker 2 years ago. He spoke at 2 to 10, and he did a great job. He's an author. He has a very popular podcast called Two Guys in Your Head. You got to check it out. This guy's a really, really smart guy and also makes it very relatable. So Dr. Art Markman, check it out. Well, we developed a relationship with Art, and we kind of shared with him some of the things we were looking for. Now that Art, and one of the things we were looking for was a data team. So Art introduced us to two amazing individuals that we now work with, and I probably haven't talked about this, that are two of the top researchers of the entire University for Business, like the #1 and 2 people for the Bureau of Business Research. It's part of a think tank that's part of the university. So Art, first of all, led us to completely elevate our data work with some of the best data people I've ever met. They're very approachable, super smart, and we're working with them on a large scale data project with chains. So Art made that introduction. That introduction led to one where we said we're looking for some executive education that has already been created, but could be customized and delivered in a way, sort of a lab type setting as part of our workshop offering at the Phil. So then we were introduced to the human dimensions organizations, which is another part of the university I mentioned a little bit earlier. And I can't believe it. It is the first program ever that really is completely focused on a deep understanding of people at a university. All right. And so now we're talking to the director. So we're working at the highest level in the university, because Art, by the way, is not only a professor there, and I didn't realize this, is he sits in the main tower. He is part of like what we call the executive team. He's sort of like a C-level executive at the university. I had no idea that Art was that well connected. And anyway, so we were introduced to individuals from the Human Dimensions organization, and we found two really, really great presenters that are getting into topics that are really important, such as uncovering motivations and resiliency. And so we locked in 2 members of the Human Dimensions part. Now that's the people part. But I still was feeling we were missing something. And this is kind of the weird thing. We were there in February because we did workshops at the at this site, and it was 7 in the morning, and I happened to notice that the Macomb School of Business actually had an office right in the same building we were in at the AT&T Conference Center. And it's not a conference center. That makes it sound like too big and sterile. It's not like that at all. Anyway, so I met the director of all of executive education for Macomb School of Business that's been repurposed for corporations across the world. And I literally followed this guy into his office. He was there an hour early, and I sat across and we became fast friends. In 45 minutes, I'd already decided, okay, this is what we're missing. We need something from the School of Business in addition to the people side. So next thing we know, that afternoon, we're meeting with someone else in the team. We have a proposal a week later, and voila, that rounds out our lineup at the Phil, with now 2 members of the executive education part of Macomb School of Business. So we announced in the collaboration that it was one of the unique facets of this collaboration for the Phil is we're working with 2 different pieces of the school to bring a very, very rich curriculum to all of you. Curating an experience is really important. And to be completely honest, I thought, geez, I want to be careful that this doesn't feel too academic, and, it's great to have these world-class educators, faculty members, members of business, etc. But we're living in the real world here, and I'm a big fan of academia, and so we really feel like we have cracked the code in terms of making that content relevant and approachable for a small business that's dealing with the challenges that we all know on a day-to-day basis. And I'm super excited about that. I'm also excited that we're going to continue to infuse some of the signature Qnity moments. And I think what we do at our conferences is we make sure that the heart is up front and center, and our team really, really embraces every single individual there to make sure they have a good experience. And so this year, not only will we have these workshops that are going to be led by world-class educators, many of them authors, noted, travel the world, cutting edge. It's really cutting edge, on topic today. We're also going to have some of Qnity's favorite tools brought to life, and several other experiences, curated experience like excursions, etc. So creating a conference is not easy. It takes a lot of ATM, attention, time, and money. And I certainly hope we get it right this year. I know we're going to get it right, but what really matters is whether people attending the conference gets it right. And so what I'm really excited about in this partnership and collaboration is that we are bringing in 6 world-class educators. Now, what I failed to mention is 4 of the educators are part of the faculty and more what we consider to be professors. Actually, 3 of them, excuse me. And then one of them is out working as a consultant. Another one I already mentioned, Tamara Fields. She's a graduate of Macomb School of Business, and she's now very high up at Accenture, but makes everything she talks about very relatable to a small business. And then finally, our keynote is going to be someone that's actually not part of the faculty, but she's also a graduate of University of Texas, and her name is Gay Gaddis. All right, so I am going to announce the topics and a little bit more about Gay Gaddis. So Gay Gaddis, and you're getting a little bit of a sneak peek on this, is Gay founded and grew into the largest female-owned digital ad agency in the US, and started from scratch. It was called T3, the think tank. And ultimately she sold it, but that is quite an accomplishment. She's also been named one of Inc. magazine's top 10 entrepreneurs of the year. Fast Company has named her one of the top 25 women business builders. and she has all these other accolades, and she has written a book. I have not read this book in the interest of full disclosure, but it's called Cowgirl Power: How to Kick Ass in Business and Life. Hell of a title, isn't it? So Gay is going to be with us on Monday morning, and she's going to be super interesting. It's going to be a great way to kick off the conference. Some of the other topics. Gay is going to be going through the power of connections. We also have a session on resiliency, I mentioned, mastering communication skills, uncovering motivation, and then I love this one, creative problem solving for a creative solutions for complex problems. And we're going to be featuring Professor Galen Paulson, Dr. Katie Pritchard, Mike Leggett, and Dr. Elizabeth Richmond Garza to round out the lineup. Watch more about these amazing people and what you're going to be able to learn at the Phil. All right. Let me see if I have anything else that I wanted to speak about today with all of you. I think those are really my light bulb moments for the week. I mean, it's really been a quite an amazing experience affiliating with a university of this caliber. This is the third university collaboration we've had. We had a relatively minor collaboration with Loyola University Chicago. They did a family business segment for us at 2 to 10 one year. We had a massive collaboration with the University of Massachusetts, Boston, College of Entrepreneurship, where the whole conference was, I mean, it was sort of taken over by UMass Boston. We worked with a bunch of MBA students, but this collaboration with the University of Texas, Austin feels very special. It feels like you're working with humans that really are warm, are smart, want to give back, and they're all really excited to be part of the Phil. So I said I would keep it short today. Would love to see if there's any questions or comments, but to me, my LIFO moments of the week framed into 3 areas. One is really, taking a personal leap, relocating for a month into a completely different city, different part of the country, and what that has looked like. South by Southwest and some of the things related to AI. And then finally, the anatomy of a collaboration and the power of connections with a partnership that we just announced yesterday. So anyway, that's what I have it for you today. We will see you next week. It's always a delight that you take your precious attention and time with us, and we hope to see you very soon. And we hope to also see you very soon at the Phil. I completely forgot to mention that our early bird pricing ends this Friday. I completely forgot about that. Yes, early bird pricing ends on Friday, so you should sign up, and these workshops are going to Phil. Thanks, everyone.